Try to imagine yourself in the mind of someone about 2,500 years ago. To such a person, the wood and everything in it was alive. Everything was watching. Unseen spirits whispered in the movements of the trees. A breeze brushing against his cheek was the gesture of a god. If the buffeting of blocks of air in the sky created lightning, this was an outbreak of cosmic will. When ancient man ventured into a cave, he had a strange sense of being inside his own skull. If he climbed to the top of a hill, he felt his consciousness race to the horizon in every direction, out towards the edges of the cosmos, and he felt at one with it. At night, he experienced the sky as the mind of the cosmos. When he walked along a woodland pathway, he would have had a strong sense of following his destiny. Everything that happened to him, even the sight of a mote in a sunbeam, the sound of the flight of a bee, or the sight of a falling sparrow, was meant to happen. Everything spoke to him. Everything was a punishment, a reward, a warning, or a premonition. If he saw an owl, for example, this wasn't just a symbol of the goddess. This was Athena, part of her. A warning finger, perhaps, was protruding into the physical world and into his own consciousness. When our man on a walk saw a flock of birds turn as one in the sky, it seemed to him as if the flock were moved all together by one thought, and indeed he believed that this was the case. If the animals in the wood moved all together in a sudden, violent way, they panicked. They had been moved by Pan. Our man knew that this was exactly what was happening, because he commonly experienced great spirits thinking through himself and through other people at the same time. He knew that when he reached the mystery school and his spiritual master introduced astonishing new thoughts to him and his fellow pupils, they would all be experiencing the very same thoughts, just as if the master were holding up physical objects for them all to see. In fact, he felt closer to people and sharing their thoughts than he ever did through mere physical proximity. When a thought came to the man walking through the woods, he felt as if he had been brushed by the wing of an angel or by the robe of a god. He sensed a presence even if he could not always perceive it directly and in detail. But once inside the holy precinct, he could perceive not just the wing, not just the swirling waves of light and energy that made up the robe. In the midst of the light, he saw the angel or God itself. On these occasions, he would have believed that he really was perceiving a being from the spiritual realm.